Okay, ready? Let's do this. Hey YouTube, what's up, and welcome to another wonderful episode of Vintage Game Finder. I got my little girl with me. Well, one of my little girls, Isabella. Isabella, say hi. And she is here to help me out with this weekend's haul. So let's go ahead and dive in. We recently went on a family vacation to Legoland in Florida. I'm trying to remember where it was. It's right around Orlando. I forgot exactly where, but and before I went, I talked to a couple people that were in the hobby, and they were telling me their experiences going over that part of the state, and most of the stories were slim pickings on their part. But I found a couple things. You know, I guess it just took a little bit more effort, which is what I try to do on these hunts that I go on. So I was very happy to actually bring something home other than an empty wallet. So let's go ahead and dive in. Ready? Hold on. Let's do it together. Here you go.
Hold on a minute.
We picked up a Nintendo GameCube. This is my third. This is my second black. I also have a silver. I'm not trying to pick up the color variations. I just like to have the extra consoles for parts, or if I find somebody else that's been looking for one, I could go ahead and use that towards a trade for something that they have, of course. And my rule of thumb always, when you pick up a console, is to take a look what you have inside. And in this instance, I had a NASCAR Thunder 2003, common game, of course. Anything EA is going to be considered common, unless you go back to the Genesis Mega Drive days. I picked this up without the AV cables, but with the power cord. I did test it. It is working. I picked that up for $4. The total haul is going to be $20, but some of the prices I don't remember too much. This one, my kid's dying for me to go ahead and open it up and let them play with it, but I managed to find a complete set on eBay recently that's all loose for a really reasonable price. So I went ahead and bought that so they could go ahead and play with the figures, and I can keep this for myself. This is a limited edition figurine with a collector's tin. It's just called Super Mario. This one comes with Daisy and what's his face, Shy Guy. And there's 4 series in total, and this is the series 2. So like I said, some of the prices I remember, some I don't. So I don't recall what the hell I paid for that. I think it was $1 or $2. Next, here, honey, just put them up here.
Right here.
Yeah.
This is the one I
Hold the box. There you go. Next one is a very generic case, but I wanted to pick this game up because I love the Ninja Turtles, as some of you do, of course. And this is TMNT. I'm pretty sure this is based on the movie that came out that was animated, which I have. The kids have a copy of, and it's pretty good movie. If you haven't seen it yet, you should check it out on Netflix. Haven't played it yet, dying to. I don't have high expectations for it because it's from Ubisoft and not Konami. So it is what it is. Next, yes, same thrift shop. Keep in mind, most of this was in one thrift shop, but I went to a total of 3 thrift shops. So this is pretty much what I picked up in Orlando. This is another EA Sports common title, but one that I needed for my Genesis library. I had a lot of great memories playing this as a kid. And it's Bulls versus Blazers and the NBA playoffs. And this is the limited edition first round copy. And not something that I would say that's really limited, because I've seen a lot of these copies growing up, but I'm not sure what kind of value this game holds, if anything, because it's a sports game. But yeah, I picked it up complete at that same thrift store, and I was happy. She had it put in with VHS movies, so I like to say she didn't know exactly what it was, or she had it bundled in with the VHS movies. I seen these games with VHS movies. I seen Sega Master System games, just like this, stacked in thrift stores with VHS tapes. So, I mean, when you go into those places, that's just, you know, common sense. You gotta check the CDs, and you gotta check the areas where they had the VHS tapes, as well as the DVDs. Okay, next, honey, what do we got? We have the Powerpuff Girls Chemical Extraction. It's missing the door, but the disc is in I say, modestly fair shape. Again, I picked these games up for her because you like the Powerpuff Girls, right? So I go ahead and do that because a big selling point to me for this hobby is to be able to share the memories that I had as a kid with my kids, and to me it's a pretty big deal. So that's gonna be for their collection. Next, what do we got? Okay, looks like we have an NES game. This one is called Star Voyager from Acclaim. Love the fact that this came from a video store in the Bronx, New York, and I found it at a thrift store in Orlando. That's quite a voyage for this NES game. Label's in pretty good condition. I don't remember playing this game as a kid, so I'm really dying to go ahead, open this up, clean it, and add it to the collection and enjoy it. Next. Ooh, you know what? This is the first video that I've come across Game Gear games. Before I started collecting, I was selling off parts of my collection. What I had was a Game Gear that I originally bought brand new. Can't recall the year. I think it was 93 or 94. And I had about 15 games, including Streets of Rage and Sonic and Golden Axe and all that. And I sold it pretty cheap. I sold it for $40, and that's because of the problems the screen had. The LCD screen had it was just dying, and it was all faded, and it was hard to see any gameplay out of it anymore. But as much as I don't want to be in the handheld side of the collecting hobby, my kid is starting to really like Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, all of that. So sooner or later, I know I'm gonna end up collecting that too. But sad to say, I'm not in the market for Game Gear games, so I will be cleaning these and passing them along. And the first title is Garfield Caught in the Act. I have a copy of this on the Super Nintendo. No, excuse me, not the Super Nintendo, the Genesis. And it's not a bad game, but it's not a good game. The plot is just really generic and corny. Next, we have Super Columns on the Game Gear. This is another fun game. I have the copy on Genesis. And it's a nice departure from Tetris, but it's not that much of a departure where you really can't tell the difference from one title to another. I mean, this is Sega's take on Tetris, obviously, but they did not do a really bad job at it. It's actually an enjoyable game. Next. Oh, look at that, another copy. Super Columns. This was loose without the case. It's gonna be passed along. Let's go. What do we got next? Okay, I don't recall if this came out on the Genesis, but I'm pretty sure it did. It's called Dynamite Headdy. Looks like an action platformer. Don't know if it's a Sega release or a third-party release, but doesn't look that attractive to me. Next, what do we got? This is one of the games I had in my Game Gear collection that I ended up selling, and it wasn't a bad game, but most people will say it's a common game, and it's Poker Face Paul's Blackjack on the Game Gear. had fun playing it growing up. And I kind of want to get another Game Gear just because I have Game Gear games now, but I think my kid's just gonna stay where Game Boy stuff, because the Game Gear, I remember the batteries would only last a couple hours, so to me it wasn't worth it. And is that it, honey? No more? All right. This is all thrift store portion. The next portion is stuff that I picked up. Well, my wife picked up for me on her way home. She surprised me. Thank you, Susie. And there was a sale at Toys R Us. I don't want to say liquidation, but they had clearance on a lot of games. So I ended up picking up 6 games at about $11.60 a copy. Brand new. So let's go ahead. Take those. You can pass them to me one by one, honey. We have Zone of the Enders HD collection. This was out on PS2. Never got a chance to play it. Happy to have this copy now. Konami's really good, and I really like the work that a lot of their developers do for them. So happy to have it. Next, Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. This game did not get really good reviews. The party system was a little out of whack, and I mean all around just wasn't a great game, and I felt like this was the pivotal point where Resident Evil started going on its downward slope. But that's just my opinion. You might think differently, and if you do, that's okay. But for the price, I am happy to have it. I'll try it out, and if it doesn't work out, pass it along. It is what it is, folks. Let's see what else we got. Darksiders II. I haven't had a chance to play the original Darksiders, but I love the plot, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and everything in between. It's not bad, so I will be giving this a shot. Next, what do we have? X-Men Destiny. I want to say that I do know something about this game, but I don't. But from the looks of it in the back, I like the fact that I could customize my own character and play with the power system, the stats, and all that. You know, and that sold me. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that. Next, this was one of the first games I bought. Not this actual game, but it was one of the first games I bought when I picked up the PS3 about a year after its initial release, and I had a lot of fun playing it. And add to the fact that it's a PS3 exclusive, I gotta have it in my library. It's Motorstorm Apocalypse. Really fun game. I think this one is a little more in tune with the natural disasters that could happen. So I'm into that. And the last game we have, another okay, this is not PS3 exclusive, but it has exclusive content. It's Assassin's Creed 3. I've played the first one, played the second one, no, the third one. The first and the third I played, and I've been into it, but after a while I just got bored, and I would stop playing it. But I really want to try to give this a chance, because I'm really big on American history. I love it. It was one of my favorite subjects in school, so to transport myself into that time, I think it'd be pretty cool, and this is the game to do it in. So that's it. Not too bad of a weekend as far as pickups. You always want to hope for better as a collector, but at the same time, you don't want to get greedy or give yourself an ego trip, because video game karma has a way of bringing you down a notch when you do stuff like that. So I want to say thank you for coming to visit. As always, like, comment, rate, subscribe, and we will see you next week. Bella, you want to say bye?
You can have one.
Good job. You're awesome.